Today on Straight Talk Africa, a conversation on the significance of the role of the African Union mission in Somalia, known as AMISOM. Black Hawks Rising is a book written by Dr. Opiyo Oloya, covering 2007 to 2014. That's coming up next right here on Straight Talk Africa. Hello, welcome to Straight Talk Africa, live from the Voice of America studios here in Washington. It's Wednesday, September 28th. I am Shaka Ssali.
Well, hello to you, Shaka, and hello to all our viewers and listeners on the continent and elsewhere. I'm Mariama Diallo, your social media reporter. Today, it's a conversation on a new book, Black Hawks Rising, the story of the African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia. And coming up later in our STA inbox, we'll share your questions and comments on the book. That's through your emails, tweets, and Facebook posts. That's ahead on Straight Talk Africa. Hope you'll stay with us. Today, my colleague Paul Sisco takes a look at the story of the courageous men and women peacekeeping in Somalia.
The name of the book is Black Hawks Rising, the story of AMISOM's successful war against Somali Insurgents 2007 to 2014. Not everyone agrees the mission has been a success, but author Opiyo Oloya does. A Black Hawk is a military helicopter, and the book references a somewhat failed U.S. military operation in Somalia in 1993. A rescue mission that some believe led to America's delay or failure to intervene in later conflicts on the continent, such as the Rwandan genocide of 1994. In many cultures, African cultures, the hawk is a symbol of protection. Black Hawks Rising refers to African peacekeepers in Somalia. The African Union mission in Somalia is a regional peacekeeping effort and force operated by the African Union with the approval of the United Nations Security Council. It was created by the AU in January 2007. A month later, the UN approved its mandate to support the transitional government in Somalia, train security forces, implement a security plan, and help Somali forces battle al-Shabaab militants terrorizing the state. Initially, the African peacekeeping mission was confined to the beleaguered Somali capital, Mogadishu. AMISOM took on the Somali Insurgents as a fighting force in 2010, expelling them from central Mogadishu in early August 2011, and later expanded control of territory under the Somali government in succeeding years to most of Somalia. Early, the United States, under the administration of George Bush, strongly opposed the deployment of peacekeepers to Somalia. As late as 2009, President Obama's UN ambassador-designate told the Senate Foreign Relations Committee she, too, has concerns.
I am skeptical, too, about the wisdom of a United Nations peacekeeping force in Somalia at this time.
Eventually, the Bush administration lent support to deployment of regional troops in Somalia. Today, Somalia is still plagued by deadly guerrilla attacks and suicide bombings at the hands of al-Shabaab and other terrorist groups. 2 weeks ago, President Mahmoud Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud hosted a regional conference in Mogadishu for the first time in ages. Evidence, he says, that Somalia's years of anarchy are waning, and there is progress on security and peace building under his governance. Regional leaders say they expect free and fair elections in Somalia later this year. President Mahmoud told them his government is rebuilding the national army and praised AMISOM for providing protection for Somali governments for nearly a decade. Today, there are over 22,000 AMISOM troops and police in Somalia, many trained by the United States, Canada, Great Britain, and Turkey. Uganda currently provides the largest contingent of AMISOM troops, about one-third of the total African force. Burundi has over 5,000 troops in Somalia, Ethiopia more than 4,000, 3,600 from Kenya, 1,000 from Djibouti, and 850 from Sierra Leone, and other smaller African troop contributions. The European Union provides most of the resources for the fighting force. Despite the much improved conditions and security in Mogadishu and across Somalia, elections, which were slated for last weekend, have been postponed again. Parliamentary elections are being pushed back to October 23rd, and the presidential vote has been rescheduled for November 30th. Meanwhile, devastating food shortages in the Horn of Africa continue to spread. According to the United Nations, 5 million people in Somalia, and the numbers are growing, including 300,000 children, are malnourished. Paul Sisco, VOA News, Washington.